Hey there guys, Anthony here, and as I've done for the past 2 years, here are my top 5 movies of 2014. Now, before we get into this, I want to say that I did not see every movie I wanted to see. I did not see films like Nightcrawler, or Whiplash, or Grand Budapest Hotel, or things like that. There are some films that I unfortunately missed out on that I would have liked to see, Chef being one of them. But hey, I did see enough films to make a top 5 list, and the top 5 are not bad by any means. In fact, they're all pretty awesome. It was very tough making this list, so let's go ahead and just jump right into it, shall we? First one, number 5, is Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, just because this is number 5 doesn't mean that, I think any less of this film than the other films. This film is so much fun, and honestly, I'll even say that it's better than the Avengers. I mean, it's just sort of a better team film. It's much more solid piece, which is interesting considering we don't have lead-ups for all these characters. This movie, I feel like, was definitely a testing point for Marvel, because it's not their basic superhero group. I mean, before this film, I really didn't know much about the Guardians of the Galaxy at all. I didn't. It's just not something I really tried to get into. I was, I know Spider-Man and Iron Man and Captain America and all that stuff, but I really just didn't really get into Guardians. I can't say that anymore. I mean, I'm currently reading the legendary Star-Lord book, and it's fantastic. This movie is just so much fun. And a lot of that has to do with James Gunn. Absolutely. I feel like they couldn't have gotten a director that really could have made this movie what it is. I really find it funny that James Gunn is such an animal guy. If you follow him on Facebook or anything like that, you'll see that he just loves animals, which makes him even more perfect for this film, because, I mean, Rocket Raccoon is one of the main characters, and he's one of the funniest characters. Him and Groot are just so perfect together that kids love it. And it's great, because it's not like, oh, kids love it, and it's like the mascot that you have to love, like Olaf in Frozen. I've never even seen Frozen, I can't say that, but it's funny. These are characters that kids love, but they're not for kids. Not 4Kids, the dubbing company, but 4Kids as, for them. Which is interesting. If you think like kids are going to love it so much, you think it'd be more directed towards them, but it's not. These are two characters that aren't really directed towards children at all, especially Rocket. I love the characters in this film. I loved Ronan. I thought he was a really cool villain. It's a shame we're not going to get him in figure form, because I would absolutely buy Ronan in a figure form in a heartbeat. We just got those little ones where you squeeze the legs together and he swings his arms. It's weird. I really love Drax. I feel like Drax was a character that I thought, he'll be fun, I guess, whatever. And then seeing the film, he was one of my favorite characters. I'm Dave Bautista. Bravo, man. You were awesome. You were great. Of course, I love Star-Lord. I mean, I loved him so much that I've cosplayed as him before. And like I said, I'm reading his book right now. So, Guardians of the Galaxy was just awesome. Great music, obviously. I've been listening to Awesome Mix since the movie came out. It's the only thing that plays in my car. So, that's really great. Great characters. Great, just, so much fun. I love this movie. So, also Thanos. Thanos is coming. And it's Josh Brolin. That makes me very excited. Moving on to my number 4 pick. I feel like number 4, 3, and 2 are pretty interchangeable, honestly. 1 is not a solid 1. But 4, 3, and 2, this was very hard putting them in this place. But I feel like I've got a pretty good, order here. And my number 4 is Snowpiercer. Snowpiercer, I guess technically this is a 2013 film. I really don't know where to put this in. But, I mean, it came out this year in the States, and I saw it this year. So I'm going to count it as a 2014 film. Sure, whatever, fine. Let's go with that. Snowpiercer, my god, oh, this is a good movie. This is a movie I had no idea what it was about going into it. All I knew was that Chris Evans was in it. He has a beard. That is literally it. That's all I knew. I had no idea that the future Ben Grimm would be in it. I had no idea what the plot was, and I thought it was great. It's weird to describe, because if you don't know what it is, I don't want to tell you, because I kind of want you to have the same feeling I did, not knowing anything about what the movie was about, because you're really invested when you don't know things. I love this feeling of not knowing anything about a film. I love being excited for a film, too. Like, I want to know what's going on. But for this, I was perfectly fine not knowing anything and just going into it blind, and I think it was for the better, honestly. This was a really good movie. It's got really great acting by Chris Evans, just fantastic. And this movie, it does this isn't giving anything away really, but it does the whole social class sci-fi dystopian future thing the best way possible, and that is by not holding back by any means. I mean, films like Elysium and Hunger Games, those are fine movies, but this one is the best one in recent years that I've seen, just because it doesn't hold back. It lets you see everything. It's great. It really is very, very good. If you get a chance to watch this film, please do, because it definitely deserves a list on my top 5. That's why it's here. Moving on to number 3 is X-Men: Days of Future Past. This movie, it's the 7th X-Men movie, technically speaking, if you count the 2 Wolverine films. It is the 7th X-Men movie in this series. In 2014, we've had 7 X-Men films, all in the same, universe. That's the thing about X-Men, is that you can say, no matter what you think of the films, at least they haven't rebooted yet. I mean, Batman's rebooted twice now. He's going up on his new reboot. Spider-Man's rebooted. Superman's rebooted. We've got this whole Marvel Universe thing where they've got it. But, I mean, X-Men have been doing it since the beginning, and they're still doing it. That's awesome. One of the best things about this film that I was very excited for was the fact that Bryan Singer was coming back, which is the reason the first 2 films were so good. I mean, he's not the sole reason, but I mean, he had a vision and knew exactly what to do with it. A lot of people will say that was Matthew Vaughn, his X-Men First Class film is the best X-Men film, and I gotta disagree. While I really love that film, I love Charles and Eric, and Kevin Bacon, and that's pretty much it. I mean, I don't care for the whole Mutant and Proud thing. I don't like Hank in that film. I like Hank in this film. Don't like him there. It's not the best X-Men movie everyone thinks it is. The score is great. The actors are really good for the most part. It's a good movie, but it's not my favorite X-Men movie. Days of Future Past definitely goes up there as far as my favorite X-Men movie goes. I don't know if I like it more than the next 2, but I definitely enjoy it, and I have a lot of fun with it. This movie does a really good job of blending the 2 sort of, not universes, but film X-Men stuff, because we've got the original cast, and then we have the new cast coming in, and we get some setup stuff for future Bryan Singer films, which is really great. And, I mean, not to mention, spoiler alert, it brings back Cyclops, which is just the best thing ever. I mean, whenever I was in the theater watching this movie, I remember sitting there, and when it happened, when he appeared on screen, I went, yeah! And I cheered and I clapped, and several other people, I mean, about half of the theater started clapping and cheering, and the other half was confused because, it's just Cyclops. But, I mean, X-Men fans from the beginning just know how awesome it is, the fact that, Bryan Singer came back and resurrected Cyclops and basically wiped out X-Men 3 from existence. It is unfortunate because now things like the Wolverine and X-Men and X-Men 2 don't exist. But, it's the best way to look at it, is that they still happen. It's just a different timeline. Wolverine remembers all of it just like we do. It's like that's kind of our tie, and that's why Wolverine's in the film. This was just such an awesome, awesome movie. Just from the very beginning with the X-Men theme playing, and it's like 20th Century Fox Presents. It had me. I was like, this is it. This is going to be the coolest movie. And it was just awesome. I loved it. I loved it so much. I can't say enough good things about it. Moving on to my number 2 spot, we have Gone Girl. Gone Girl is incredible. This movie is a very long movie, but you never feel like it. I'm going to mention a movie that isn't on this list, but I did enjoy, Interstellar. I know there is someone listening that did not like this film, but I did enjoy the film. I didn't love it. I didn't love it at all, but I did enjoy it, and it was a good movie. But it is very long, and it's very long, and you could argue that that's what it's going for, as a sense, because so much time passes, but that's not good. This movie, Gone Girl, doesn't feel as long as it is. And you reach a point in the movie where you kind of feel like things are coming to a close, but it turns out it's the halfway point. And then things get going in a direction that films like these don't normally take. And it's very, very cool. I loved it. I love this movie so much. I love the music. I love the the acting in it. Obviously, Ben Affleck is he's a good actor, and it's cool to see him. He's huge in this film, like muscle wise, because he's getting ready to be Batman. So that was very cool. It was great to see Neil Patrick Harris in a role that wasn't, Barney Stinson. That was really great. So yeah, it was just this movie. I was excited about this movie, but I didn't expect it to be so high on my list. It is very, very good. I feel like if any films you need to see, Gone Girl. Gone Girl is so good. And I think it's cool that the writer of the book got to write the screenplay, so we kind of have a very similar view of what's going on. I didn't read the book, but I don't need to because I saw the movie, and that's how that works. If you read the book, go see the movie. If you see the movie, you don't really need to read the book, honestly, because you just had the story, and that's it. I'm sure the book is very good. I should know because I saw the writer write the movie. I didn't see him sit down and write it, but you get what I mean. All right, moving on to my number one. I feel like everybody knows that this is my number one film. If you know me at all, you saw this coming, and it's a good reason. Obviously, Captain America: The Winter Soldier is my number one film of this year. And honestly, I mean, it's probably not a better film, like film sense, better than Gone Girl or Snowpiercer or anything like that. But as far as enjoyment, as far as my personal favorite, Winter Soldier did everything I wanted to and more. This movie is just exactly what needed to happen for Captain America. Captain America is some very big points in his life. We've got the early 40s or late 40s stuff where we've got the World War II is happening and Captain America is selling because it's propaganda. It's comics showing that Captain America and America as a country can defeat those Nazis and all that fun stuff. So that's a really big time. So we have the first film for that. We also, a big part of Captain America's life is the Avengers. So we have the Avengers. Everything else is kind of just whatever. I mean, the late 70s, early 80s Captain America, there isn't much going on in that book. There's not a lot to sort of grasp onto and take from. That being said, I mean, there is one more other stage, and that's the modern era of Captain America, the espionage and spying and, that sort of thing. And that's really, really cool, and that's what this movie does so well. I mean, taking the Winter Soldier storyline is the best possible way to get Captain America into modern times because it's about a ghost coming back to haunt him, and that's awesome. I love it. I love it so much. I love the score. I love Anthony Mackie as Falcon. Falcon's not a character that I usually read and enjoy very much. I mean, he's Falcon, he's cool, whatever, but he's not a personal favorite of mine. Now he's just great. I loved Falcon in this film. He was so cool. Falcon kind of fills that role as your average guy. I love characters like Jim Gordon and Jimmy Olsen and stuff like that because they're people. They're just people, they're people in this crazy world. Jim Gordon handles his own in a world where Batman fights giant crocodile men, he's also important. Jim Gordon is a cop for a reason. Falcon is very similar. Falcon's not a highly trained assassin like Black Widow, or is he a super soldier like Captain America. He's just a guy that's good at what he does. And that's awesome. I've never had so much appreciation for Falcon until watching this movie and realizing just how cool he really is. Also, the fact that he's Captain America right now in the comics really does help because, like I said, he's not a super soldier, but he's strong enough to hold that shield. And that's really awesome. Not to mention, we've got stuff with Bucky in this film, which is great. So many people didn't know that Winter Soldier was Bucky going into this movie, so it's always great to watch their reactions. And when it's revealed and them gasp or anything like that, that's always great. I love that. This movie is so, so good. And it's the first movie to really have an impact on the Marvel Universe since, Iron Man? It's crazy, because it's like Iron Man 3, you guys know how I feel about Iron Man 3, I don't like it. So that movie really didn't do anything. Thor the Dark World, all it did was establish a new Infinity Stone, and that was it. This movie got rid of S.H.I.E.L.D. and sparked the events of Phase 2 or I mean, the Avengers in Phase 3, basically. I mean, as they say, it's not a world of spies, nor a world of heroes. You know? It's an age of miracles. That's what it is. It's great. It's really cool to see where it's going from this point. And Winter Soldier, this film is because of that. I'm very happy that these guys are going to be directing Civil War, and from the sounds of it, they'll also be directing Infinity War, which is cool in my book. Yeah, do it. These guys have proven themselves. Absolutely. So yeah, Captain America: Winter Soldier is my number one film of 2014, and honestly, my number one comic book film. I mean, it's just, it's so good in every way, which is saying something considering my last number one was Superman from the 70s. So there you go, guys. There are my top 5 films in general of 2014. Obviously, there were not, everyone's favorites on this list. If, there was a movie like Dawn of the Planet of the Apes I didn't put on here, a movie I really enjoyed but wasn't a favorite of mine. I liked it a lot. I liked Godzilla more so than others. I thought it was a good movie. It is slow paced, but you know what? I enjoy it. Other films that just flat out do not deserve to be on here. Films like Ninja Turtles, which was just, it's not a horrible movie, but it's bad. It's just bad. Okay, guys? It's not good, and it's not the worst thing ever. It's not Transformers, but it's bad. Speaking of Transformers, that movie's, thank God it's not on here. It's probably one of the worst. And The Amazing Spider-Man 2, which was a terrible movie. Probably the worst Spider-Man movie ever to be on screen. Worse than Spider-Man 3. Alright, there you go. There you guys go. Those are my movies and my thoughts of 2014. Like I said, go and tell me your top 5 or whatever. What movies did you watch? What did you like? What did you dislike? Let me know. I like to, see what you guys think. And with that, I will see you guys later.